got tough. Well, it really did get tough. But see, these new people coming aboard said, y'all been eating this stuff all this time? What's wrong with y'all? Can you see that happening?
Sure.
Man, I just had steak 2 nights ago, and that was some good stuff. Why don't you get some meat? Don't you want some meat up? Don't you remember how it was when you used to eat meat? Don't you remember that flavor and how it savored on your tongue? Meat's better than oatmeal, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, meat's better than oatmeal. Oh, yeah. And they went to lusting after flesh. Now, everybody's heard of lust of the flesh, right?
Yes.
Now, we always associate lust of the flesh to usually sexual things. And I'm not going to go any further than that. But that's what we usually associate lust of the flesh. But lust of the flesh is anything that the flesh desires.
Right.
At this particular time, they were wanting meat. Give us some meat. They were looking at Moses saying, where's the beef? He was saying, hey, we got good stuff to eat right here. Well, that's not what Moses' brother-in-law crowd said. They said, hey, we could eat some other stuff too. And they started complaining. And then Moses gets into the act and gets all displeased. And let me just read to you what Moses said. 10th verse. Then Moses heard the people weep throughout their families, every man in the door of his tent, and the anger of the Lord was kindled greatly. And Moses also was displeased. Now here we go. And Moses said unto the Lord, wherefore hast thou afflicted thy servant, and wherefore have I not found favor in thy sight, that thou layest the burden of all the people upon me? Now, who brought this problem on Moses? Moses did. His brother-in-law was going to go home. But Moses says, oh no, stay with us. We need you to direct us, to give us direction. We need to take your advice. Wrong. Moses goes on to tell God, he says, have I conceived all this people? Have I begotten them that thou shouldest say unto me, carry them in thy bosom, as a nursing father beareth the sucking child, unto the land which thou swearest unto their fathers? When should I have flesh to give unto all the people? For they weep unto me, saying, give us flesh that we may eat. They weren't saying that until we brought in some strangers. Folks, be careful who you make your confidant. See, Moses made his brother-in-law his confidant. Did he not?
Yes.
He unequally yoked himself to someone and said, hey, I need somebody to lean on. I need somebody to give me advice. I need somebody to give me direction. My direction should come from God. Your direction should come from God and none other. He goes on to say, 14th verse, I think that's where I left off. I am not able to bear all this people alone, because it is too heavy for me. And if thou deal thus with me, kill me, I pray thee, out of hand. If I have found favor in thy sight, and let me not see my wretchedness. Sure, you messed up, and now you say, oh God, just kill me, get me out of this mess. Because I can't do this. And now, he begins to listen, because God starts talking. And God says, Moses, gather unto me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom thou knowest to be the elders of the people, and officers over them, and bring them into the tabernacle of the congregation, that I may stand there with thee. And I will come down and talk with thee, and I will take of the Spirit which is upon thee, and I will put it upon them. And they shall bear the burden of the people with thee, that thou bear it not alone, not by those. Oh, I know this. You don't bear it yourself alone. The Spirit of the Lord came down, spilled over onto those prophets, or onto those elders, and they began to prophesy. It spilled so greatly that there was 2 of them that wasn't among the elders in the tabernacle. They were still out among the people, and all of a sudden they started prophesying. Somebody come over and said, hey, you want us to do something about that? Moses says, I would that everybody in the camp would prophesy before the Lord. In other words, everybody in the camp would listen and hear. Did everybody? No. I want to go down to the 18th verse. Say thou unto the people, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow, and ye shall eat flesh, for ye have wept in the ears of the Lord, saying, who shall give us flesh to eat? For it was well with us in Egypt, therefore the Lord will give you flesh, and ye shall eat. What did they say? They said, hey, it was good for us in Egypt. Was it good for them in Egypt? Why did God deliver them from Egypt? It was because they were complaining. It was because they didn't like the labor that they were under. Yeah, they had flesh to eat, but they had a price they had to pay for it. And the price was worse than, going without. Because at first they were willing to do that. He goes on to say, the 19th verse, ye shall not eat 1 day, nor 2 days, nor 5 days, neither 10 days, nor 20 days, but even a whole month until it come out of your nostrils, and it be loathsome unto you, because that ye have despised the Lord which is among you, and have wept before him, saying, why came we forth out of Egypt? Oh, I'm going to give you so much meat that it'll be running out your nose. That's what he said. You're going to hate it when I get done with you. And Moses said the people, the people among whom I am are 600,000 footmen, and thou hast said, I will give them flesh that they may eat a whole month. This is Moses talking to God now. And shall the flocks and the herds be slain for them to suffice them? Or shall all the fish of the sea be gathered together for them to suffice them? And the Lord said unto Moses, is the Lord's hand wax short, that thou see now whether my word shall come to pass unto thee or not? See, God didn't put Moses on the spot. Moses is saying, you put me on the spot. How am I going to feed all these people? God's saying, my hand is not short. I'm the one that promised it, not you. You're just a messenger. And it was after that they prophesied. I was ahead of myself on that. But I want to get down to where God brings quail. 31st verse. There went forth a wind from the Lord, and brought quails from the sea, and let them fall by the camp, as it were a day's journey on this side. And as it were a day's journey on the other side, round about the camp. As it were 2 cubits high upon the face of the earth. And the people stood up all that day, and all that night, and all the next day, and they gathered the quail.